I'm Cayla from the band Milk Krayt, and you're listening to Grit City Punk.
Jiggle Down Productions.
Welcome back to Grit City Punk, Tacoma's underground music and variety show, documenting the punk and hardcore scenes of the Pacific Northwest. I, of course, am Jeremy, your host. And real quick off the top, I hope that if you're a mom or a mom figure, you had a great day yesterday. If you have a mom or a mom figure, I hope you had a great day. Got another great show for you. Later on, I've got an interview with Cayla from the band Milk Krayt. And we've got some music to talk about, got some shows to talk about, and some other things to announce. Let's just get into what's been going on. There was a show at Make It Sick Tattoo in Tacoma with Kapala, Margaret Sick, and Slideshow Vision. Heaven Spot was supposed to be there. Apparently the drummer couldn't make it, so some of the other fellas in the band were working doors, which was cool. It was a fun little show. Tight spot, basically a house show. Energy was sick. The place was pretty much at capacity for a small venue. All the bands just absolutely nailed it. I met, I believe, the bass player from 8 Alive, who was there at the show. Really great energy there. Great participation. Great sets by the band. This is the kind of thing I like to see in our scene, is small, intimate, weird, unexpected venues just putting on all ages punk shows because they care about the scene. Which is going to bring me to the first thing I want to highlight in this episode. Last time, we talked about all ages venues and the effect of drugs and alcohol being in or near those spaces. And we heard some really good points from a few people. Doing kind of the same thing again this episode. I reached out to a few more people, got their views on something that's really been going around lately. Hot button topic. A lot of people have been talking about it. Respecting the venues. Now, this is super, super important because all ages venues are a gift. It's a privilege. Not every scene has a good, solid, all ages scene. And Tacoma didn't always have it. Seattle didn't always have it. So we really need to make sure that everybody does their part to make sure that these venues can stay open and continue to serve the youth, and not just the youth, but everybody, because it's all ages, but specifically it's for the kids. Let's hear what the kids have to say on the subject of respecting venues.
Public service announcement. Respect DIY venues and DIY spaces. Most of the time, a lot of these places are, DIY, obviously, do it yourself. And especially places like Gasworks Park and Cal Anderson up in Seattle, mainly with Gasworks, that if shows are getting shut down in these DIY spaces and you are making a big problem and a big deal about it with the cops, that means those shows are going to get shut down more often. I know, fuck cops, right? Respectfully, cops are bad, but if they're there to shut down a show, it's probably for a good reason. Don't make it a big deal. Or if they're there, don't mess with them and then make it worse to shut down the show. It gives everyone who plays there a bad rap. All the people who go there, it gives a bad reputation, and then we lose that venue. And I don't want that to happen to a lot more of the venues that are DIY, especially in like the Tacoma and Seattle area. I don't want that to happen. So please, if something's going on, if you see someone not respecting a space or a venue, please call it out to them or people around you.
We need to start having a little more respect for our public spaces that we use for our local shows and venues in general. The littering at shows is absolutely insane. Throw all your trash in the garbage and please, please, please stop littering. It is not punk and it's harming our environment. Crazy fires are also starting to become a trend at these local shows, and the fire department and cops have been called multiple times now. This risks shows getting shut down or altogether banned, possibly in the future. Fire is not something to mess around with, and people can get seriously hurt. Now, I'm going to call out a couple venues that have had some recent shows that have gotten kind of out of hand. Gasworks Park and Cal Anderson Park. But there's plenty of other venues that have been affected by this as well. Respect our venues, please.
When it comes to respecting all ages venues, I think the most important thing is respecting yourself first, right? And then going off from there. So respect the fact that you're there for fun. And then respect the fact that other people are there for fun. Then respect that the workers are there to make their money. They're there to get their paycheck. And it seems like they have a good time listening to the music, right? Don't make it worse. Don't make them hate their job, because these are the people who are kind enough to give all of us a good experience at this fun thing, right? And they're working while everyone else is having fun. Respect that. Respect that choice that they're making, right? And respect the environment, right? Don't go punching a hole in a wall. That recently happened to Real Art. Tom, he had to fix that. That comes out of his paycheck. Really? Like, that's what we're doing? Like, I don't know, that definitely rubs me the wrong way. But yeah, no, I mean, generally it is cut and dry. Respect yourself first, and everything else just kind of falls in line. You'll be fine if you just have basic self-respect and are kind to yourself and others.
Absolutely. So I'd like to just put a cap on that by saying none of us are authorities. There is really no scene authority here, but, you know, it's kind of up to everybody who uses these spaces to take responsibility for it. An all-ages music show or venue or any space that is all ages that has art needs to be a safe place for everyone. And the minute it starts getting disrespected, it's no longer a safe place. So it's really important. I cannot stress enough how important it is that we maintain these spaces. And sure, people want to mosh, people want to dance, people want to slam. You can do that in a safe and respectable way. And that was perfectly evidenced at the show at the tattoo shop. The pit was going crazy. People were running around. People were jumping into each other. I didn't see one thing get damaged. Nobody ran into a wall. Nobody ran into people that weren't participating. A few people got knocked down, but were immediately picked up. That's how it's supposed to be. We need to respect these spaces and show that they're important to us and they're important to the community so that we can continue to have them. The people that run them need to know that we value it. It is a valuable thing. And the outside people, city councils, state governments, police need to know that these are not dangerous things. If the police keep getting called for fires or violence or drugs or whatever, that's how these things get shut down, and then nobody can do all ages shows anymore. And that's when the scene dies, or at least struggles. And right now we've got a pretty good scene going on. It is thriving, and we need to keep it that way. Stepping off my soapbox here, let's talk about some new music. All right, kicking off the new music for this episode is the band Liability. They've got their second single released. It's called Hot Rod Cali. Here you go.
Take on the llaves, arreglo el moto.
That's just some fast, gnarly street punk, almost kind of rockabilly tribute kind of vibe going to it. Really cool. I like what these guys are up to. I can't wait to hear more. And we've been talking about Bad Optics a lot recently because they just dropped their album. And they had dropped a few singles prior to the album, which we covered, and they were great. The album, The Bounded World, is out now, and you can get it everywhere, except I think Apple Music is still having an issue not being there for some reason. However, hopefully that gets resolved soon. The Bounded World is a symposium of dizzying motifs, gnarly riffs, and sharp socio-political commentary. There's bouncy riffs, almost celebratory synths and keyboards that stand in a direct defiance of the dark, ominous, syncopated rhythm, drums beating like a broken heart in a broken world. At times, the vocals bring to mind Centipede's General Insanity. If you know, you know, which is not a bad thing. Bad Optics is a band that seamlessly merges disco and prog rock while never losing their punk sensibilities. Lyrically, this album is a cyberpunk sci-fi mindfuck, a spiritual successor maybe to REM's It's the End of the World as We Know It. This song is called Art is for Everyone. Next up is the band Moonmother. This is their first single. I don't know how to categorize this. It's heavy. It's definitely got some hardcore, post-hardcore elements to it. Check it out. This song is called Skinvelope. super excited for what these guys have coming up. It's a really cool mix of genres that is kind of unexpected and really works for me. Moving along, the band Surreal, we've talked about them at least once before, maybe twice. They've actually dropped 2 singles since the last episode, while one dropped the day I recorded that episode. I didn't cover it. That was called Illiterate. Really cool song. Really brings to mind Nirvana or like almost like a grunt truck kind of thing. They released another single, and I'm going to play it for you right here. It's called Say It Once. Yeah, these guys really have a cool thing going on. And we're going to be hearing more from them. They do have an album coming at some point this summer, and I, for one, am incredibly excited to hear it. Lastly, Portland band Misery Whip released a new single called Death of a Small Town. Okay, who are you and what do you do?
I'm Cayla Freitas, and I'm a singer and guitarist in the band Milk Krayt.
Why do you do it? What's your motivation?
Because I just love music and do not like working a factory job.
I hear that. What does punk mean to you?
Punk to me is just like a form of freedom of expression, and just, I don't know, it's kind of like an energy. I don't really know how to explain it, but that's the best way I could put it.
That makes sense. Were you or are you currently a music student?
No, I was never a music student.
Okay. Self-taught?
Yes.
Wow, okay. Was there a moment or a specific band or a song that made you decide that you wanted to play music?
Yeah, so, like, okay, when I was super young, like, Kiss was, like, you know, like, that, like, got me into it. But it was all these big personalities and everything. I was like, well, I could never do that. And then I think my freshman year of high school, that's when I really got into Nirvana. And I was like, oh, anyone can do this. And then so, you know, I wanted to, like, just learn guitar just because, you know, Kurt Cobain and just in general. And then once I got into Alice in Chains, that's when I was like, all right, that's what I want to do. I want to write music. I really want to, that was it right there.
Those two bands, the minute I saw you guys play the first time, those were two bands that I thought of.
Yeah.
Not the Kiss, but
Yeah.
that doesn't really come through in the music. But
No.
I know just from reading a lot about Nirvana and Alice in Chains and all those bands back in the 80s and 90s from here. It seems like they were all radicalized by Kiss.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So what's the story behind the band's name?
So like our other guitarist Matt, he's my uncle. So
Okay.
it's kind of like a family band. My bassist is my brother. So my grandpa with my uncle, because he wanted to start a band when he was younger. He's obviously older than us, and he was just, I don't know, just on one, just drinking that night. And my uncle wanted a band name, and he just pointed at a box of Milk Krayts, and he was like, Milk Krayt. And then we just, years later, when we started about doing a band, it was right there, so we just did it.
Cool. Just a totally random
Yeah,
thing.
Yep.
And then the spelling.
The spelling was like, obviously I got it from Star Wars. That was my idea for like the spelling of Krayt. I was like, oh, what if we do it this way? Because like it looks cool, but like, I mean, it's from Star Wars, so it's really not that cool,
Well, there's an extra layer in there for the nerds.
Yeah.
Are you a Star Wars nerd?
Oh yeah.
Cool. Okay, so you mentioned that Matt is your uncle, Bryce is your brother. How did the band come together?
So there was like every year my grandparents do this like 4th of July party, and they throw in like this huge party, like just like an outdoors thing, and then like because I was learning the guitar at the time, and I was teaching my brother bass, so we kind of just like, it was a joke that we would play like this big 4th of July party, and then like as it got closer, we kind of like, oh shoot, like people are actually expecting us to do this, so we ended up doing it. Obviously wasn't that good, so but like that's like right there kind of it just started, and then we did it again the next year, and then after that we're like, we should like start playing shows, writing songs, and it just kind of went off from there.
So how long have you been a band?
So the three of us, Matt and Bryce, I would say we started doing it in like 2019, but like by 2022, Prescott, our drummer, that's when we like really started being a band. Before it was kind of just like a side project thing. Mm-hmm. But then 2022 is really when we like, let's do this.
So what has been a favorite experience so far with the band?
Favorite experience. I mean, there's a lot. Because we played a decent amount of shows over these past couple of years. So I guess just being able to record music is just a favorite. I love doing that.
So where do you guys record at?
My uncle like built this shed studio kind of thing, like out where he lives. So we record like in our own kind of like studio. And it's like a shed. It's like I'm in it right now actually, but yeah, we kind of just record in there.
Nice. So tell me about an experience with a different band, like seeing a different band locally, or just within the scene or a venue.
I would say like one of my favorite moments, especially like just is getting to like, play with Skating Polly. That was a huge one for me because I'm a huge fan of them. So just getting to like, get off stage, watch a couple bands, and then get to see them at the end of the night was really special to me.
Cool. So what inspires you to write and create music?
Honestly, it's just I love music. Like I listen to it so much. It's just like I don't know. Like I don't know. It's just I love it. I just can't get enough of it. And what I love more than listening to music is making it. So that's just kind of it, honestly.
So you mentioned Nirvana and Alice in Chains as early influences. What other bands would you say are kind of in the soup of Milk Krayt?
Oh, I mean, like there's tons. We all kind of pull from a lot of things. Like a lot of music I listen to and like really doesn't reflect in Milk Krayt. Like I listen to a lot of like 80s, like new wave, a lot of out there stuff that really like I would say my favorite band is B-52s, which you're not going to really hear that in Milk Krayt. So it's
not too much.
Yeah, no.
I'm sure it's there if you dig deep enough.
Oh yeah, but like it's just like I would say Alice in Chains, Rush, B-52s, even Judas Priest. Like there's a lot of just I don't know. Chevelle. There's a tons of just stuff in it.
A lot of Rush from local bands have been noticing.
Oh yeah, I know.
That's
I love Rush.
That's good to hear. I would put you guys pretty solidly in, as much as it's not really a genre, I would put you guys solidly in the grunge category of like early Nirvana, Tad, like you said, Alice in Chains, Grunt Truck. What is your genre, according to you?
That's the thing. We really don't know. I would say it's like it has like elements of metal, punk, but it's like, I don't know, it's all kind of blended together, so it's kind of hard to make a genre. I really don't know how to put it. It's interesting mixes of stuff.
Make something up.
Make something up. I would say it's like grunge metal punk. That's
grunge metal punk.
It really doesn't make sense, but that's the best way.
No, I mean that's kind of what grunge is, metal and punk.
Yeah, essentially.
So you do maybe not most of the vocals, but at least roughly half. And Matt does a lot. So what is the writing process like? Do you write lyrics? Does he write lyrics? Do you write them together? Who decides who sings what?
So like when we first started, I just would just bring in stuff, and that's mainly how the first album was made, was like a bunch of stuff I brought in. And then I would always push for like Matt, to like do more, like, because he has a really good voice and he's a really good songwriter. So like by the time the second album, that's when we kind of just like, he would bring in kind of a half an album worth of demos, and then I would bring in a half songs for the my half, I guess. And then we would kind of just write them together, kind of. But then some songs would be like, hey, you should do vocals on this one with me, and then hey, we should write like lyrics together on this one. It's kind of just like that's the dynamic, I would say.
Sounds like a good collaboration. Like All of the Lies, specifically, you do the first verse, he does the second, and you both kind of do the chorus. Yeah. You guys have a really good chemistry and back and forth with your vocal styles. A lot like Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
So there's that influence again. Now there was an acoustic song on the first album, and there was also one on the second album. Both great. There's not one on the third album. No. Was that intentional, or did you not write one?
Yeah, it was intentional. I unironically kind of, especially the one on the second album, I really dislike that song.
Oh, okay. I won't tell you how much I like it then.
I mean, I still enjoy it. Like, I remember like, writing it, but like as time went on, I started like, ooh, I love acoustic stuff, but it's just more of like, to me, it felt like a forced acoustic kind of song just to have an acoustic song. Okay. That's really where I don't. And for the third album, it wasn't like, I guess, really intentional. It was more of just like, I don't know, we just didn't have one, so we're just like, we don't really need one, I guess. So
yeah, the third album, we were talking about A Space Between, released, what was that, like summer last year?
Yeah.
Really a level up, and I don't want to say a departure, but definitely a level up from the previous two, as far as songwriting, as far as production. Just really a lot more personal sounding songs, a lot more earnest, a lot stronger themes. Can you get into that space a little bit? Just about how, was that something that you guys really meant to do, or did it just feel right, or was it all organic?
It's a kind of a mix of both, or just everything you kind of said. So for A Space Between, we really wanted to like, because last album it didn't really like get received like too well. It was fine. It was more just didn't do what we wanted to do, and we thought like it turned out okay, but like we knew if we wanted to try to do this seriously, we needed to take it to the next level. Because we mixed the first two ourselves, like clearly, but like this one, we were like, no, we need to like actually get someone to like help us mix and kind of help us produce the album and kind of like give us advice and what to do, what not to do. So that was a part of the big step up. And then the next, like as it goes for lyrics, is like our lyrics before are kind of like too vague because we don't really want to directly say what we're talking about, and that was our thing. But like, it was too vague to the point where like I don't think anybody would get it. So for the third album, like we tried to like still have like vagueness, but also really like, you know, talk about like just personal stuff and themes people can, you know, like I would hope like people experience in their day-to-day life.
Yeah, I think you succeeded in that part. There is a lot of strong emotion, a lot of, I don't know, I guess you would call it intentionality to the music. You can feel from the performance and from the lyrics, maybe not exactly what was the original meaning of the song, but kind of a relatability of it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you view the role of music and art in society?
I believe it's very important. Very important. I don't know. Art is all around us in many shapes and forms. Because like I used to draw and like was super into like just drawing and just painting, but like as my like shift, like as I realized like music is a form of art, that's when I was really like, yeah, like art is everywhere.
About art, the album art for Space Between. Tell me about that.
As we were looking for album art, we really got into kind of the collage theme. So and then like instantly like I don't know if you heard of the band Highly Suspect, but
No.
their first two albums has like kind of collage kind of stuff from this artist, and I was like, and I love those two album covers. I don't remember what it's called, what service we ended up using. It's where you can like buy art essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw like this really cool collage art, and then I ended up seeing that it was actually made by the same person that did those albums.
Okay.
So I was instantly like, oh, we need to like let's do it. And then we kind of just picked that photo, and the back of like the vinyls and stuff our drummer made to kind of like, I don't know, fit the theme.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of just based that around that. It's kind of a last second thing, honestly.
Well, the back looks like it goes with the front. I mean,
Oh yeah, no, Prescott did a really good job. I would hope it kind of just front to back looks like it's the same piece.
yeah. So besides music, what else are you passionate about?
Honestly, like I couldn't even think of anything. It's mainly music. It kind of consumes my life. For better or worse.
and listening.
Yeah. Oh, just all of it. Any form of it. Watching it, going to see like just band. Yeah. I don't really. I mean, like I play video games, but that's not really like I'm passionate about. It's mainly music, and you know, working in a factory. I'm not passionate about that. So
I mean, really, who is?
yeah.
There's some weirdos out there, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Working in a factory, you meet a few.
Yeah.
What's next? What's coming up later in the year for Milk Krayt?
So the plan is it's a bit ambitious, but the plan is to finish out the album with doing a music video for every song.
Oh, okay.
And we've been trying to release one every month. And timeline wise, I think we're still on track.
Okay, you've got what, 4 out now?
Out now or to do?
All the Lies. Was there one for Penny Slander?
Yeah.
Okay, and Complained Out.
Yep.
Time Will Tell. That was the most recent one.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's track 7. So I think we're at 7 so far.
Okay. Wow. So you are chugging right along.
Oh yeah, the problem with last album also was we kind of released it and then just like, oh okay, and then instantly just went to work on the next one. We didn't. For this album, I like genuinely really enjoy it, so I was like, I really want to like kind of stretch the life cycle and really get to enjoy the like songs we play and stuff. Yeah, plans it's just to kind of finish out the album like with music videos per month, and then probably start getting ready to work on the next one.
So who's been doing your videos? Have you done those yourselves or?
Yes. So Matt mainly kind of, I would say he kind of directs them. He has like me and him kind of like just pulling ideas that just, unfortunately some of them go too far and get released, and he kind of like, no, he really likes kind of like just, he sees the image and he kind of directs it, and then we just kind of get a camera and just do it.
Yeah, I think your videos have been absolutely great so far. The Wizard of Oz one, just, I mean, chef's kiss. Honestly, that was amazing. The most recent one, Inside the Van, was hilarious.
Yeah, thank you. They're, like I said, some of the ideas, it's just like, especially near the end of filming, I was like, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing?
There's a certain charm to having a band whose music is serious, and you know, you guys are serious about your music, but at the same time, like, everything not related to actually playing the song or writing the song is more tongue-in-cheek and funny. I mean, I'm thinking like Foo Fighters. Rush is another one.
Yeah.
I mean, no humor in their music whatsoever, but in between songs on stage, every time you see them, they're absolute cut-ups.
Yeah, that's kind of us. Like, we like to keep the music, like, you know, pretty serious to where it's not like parody music, but when it gets to like visual aspects, we kind of just have fun with it and do what we do, I guess.
Yeah, like the Mentos commercial for the Foo Fighters song.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that's the end of my questions. If you have anything else that you'd like to say or address?
Honestly, not really much. Just decent amount of shows planned, so we're just kind of just doing that, and then just music videos. So we're kind of just chilling.
Cool. All right, well, your latest release, A Space Between, is still trucking along. Great album, great songs. You still have CDs and vinyl available?
Oh yeah, we have CDs, vinyls, cassettes.
Oh yeah, those cassettes with the like, what was it, like a sparkly gel kind of?
Prescott actually made those all by hand.
Really?
So, yeah.
Okay.
Because we were gonna do cassettes, but it was more of like it's a pretty niche thing.
Yeah.
But he really wanted cassettes, so he kind of just did it himself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did a darn good job.
Yeah, they turned out really cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, once again, thank you, Cayla, for doing this interview. And hopefully see you at another show soon.
Oh, yeah.
That was Cayla from Milk Krayt. Thank you so much, Cayla. Their video for the song At Firing Range is out now on their YouTube. Go check it out. These guys are doing amazing things with their videos. But the song I'm going to play for you here is not At Firing Range. It's actually Complained Out.
Right.
Summer is almost here, and there are going to be so many cool shows coming up. I'll drop a few of them over the next 2 weeks for you right here. Bad Optics, the Bounded World album release show. Yes, the album has been out for a few weeks now, but they've been on a West Coast tour, and they're ending that with their actual record release party at Baba Yaga on May 15th. Also on the bill are Fruit Juice, Public Pool, and Sleevies. So if you're in the area, check that out. On 5/16 at Real Art is the Rundown Creeps, Politician's Eyes, Mr. Blank, Batbox, and Dirty Tribe. Same day, up north, Central Saloon has Milk Krayt, Beautiful Freaks, Love So Deep, and Concrete Island. Jumping to the next week, on May the 24th is Etnos, Yeah Maybe, Anti-Summer, which has previous members of The Drivers. Excited to see that. Also on that bill are Straggler and Glad He's Dead. Looking forward even further, the next week, after Memorial Day, May 30th, at Real Art in Tacoma, I am so proud and so excited to announce the first ever Grit City Punk rock concert. It's going down in Tacoma at Real Art. It's called The Terror in Tacoma. We've got Rat Utopia Experiment. We've got Tongues. We've got Misfits tribute band We Bite. And we've got Caps Lock. Do not sleep on this concert. It is going to be insane. I'll drop a link for ticket pre-sales. Again, this is May 30th at Real Art in Tacoma. Rat Utopia, Caps Lock, Tongues, We Bite, Terror in Tacoma. Don't miss it.
Hi, I'm Sativa. I'm 23. I use they, them pronouns. To me, I think punk is, first of all, it's kind of, I feel like people lately aren't taking it as big of a political statement as it always has been, at least as I've always known it to be. And although, you know, there are aspects that come together and mix with that, like the music that you listen to and the clothes that you wear, it's first and foremost to me a political statement. To be punk is a political statement. But it also is just, I feel like it's a community for people that feel like they don't have a place, or for people that are struggling to make their own, people that really want to do something with their lives, but they feel like they just don't have it or know what they want to do with it yet. It cultivates a community for people to figure that out with, I think, less judgment sometimes more judgment, but that goes everywhere. But I don't know, I think to me punk is just a community of people who have the same like-minded beliefs of trying to take care of people and rise people up and make sure that everybody is taken care of.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
That was Sativa. Thank you for that. Another thing real quick, really geeked about this. The Rat Utopia Experiment has a new single coming probably at the end of the month. I got to hear it, and it is by far, in my opinion, the best thing they've ever recorded. It is so punk and so raw. It's a super political, gritty, grimy, rough-sounding punk song that still manages to sound clean and professional, and I can't wait for this thing to be out in the world. The song is called Creature Comfort. You've probably heard it if you've been to any of their recent shows, or even as far back as last year they were playing it. I'm telling you, the hiatus, the lineup switch, the growth in the band is really paying off. They seem to be heading in a direction that I think is really good for them and really good for punk music in the Northwest. Yeah, it's a really good song. Look out for that. Probably the end of the month. I wish I could play it for you right now, but I think I'd be in a lot of trouble if I did. Also, coming up in the near future, Sunbathe or Die have their first single coming up. Tongues has another single upcoming for their future album. And with that, thanks again for listening. And I hope everybody enjoyed the show. And I just want to say hi and thanks for listening. And yeah, so you know where to find me. You're already listening to it. Make sure you're subscribed. hit up my link tree, find other places to find the show, check out my YouTube page. You could actually watch the whole set from Rat Utopia at Slice of Life Pizza a few weeks back. The whole set is up. I've been posting highlights on Instagram and YouTube. There's some Stormboy footage on there as well. I'm uploading, hopefully in time for this episode, Kapala slideshow vision and Margaret Sick from Make It Sick Tattoo. That should be up there soon if it's not already. And I'm thinking about doing a newsletter type blog to kind of dive deeper into certain topics, and maybe even some topics that aren't necessarily Northwest music related, but definitely related to punk and hardcore and the music scene in general. Not sure what that's going to look like yet. Let me know if you're interested in that. I'm thinking it would be like a Substack thing that if you sign up, it would just come to your email whenever I update, which is not going to be on a regular basis by any means. But whenever I think I have something further to say on something, I'm exploring that as an outlet. So let me know if that sounds like something cool to you, if you would sign up for that. Remember to check out all the bands that I've talked about. Go see them live, go to the concerts, buy their merch, listen to the music, tell your friends about their music. And I think that's going to just about do it for my show this week. And I'm going to end it with a favorite of mine from a favorite band of mine who has been on a long, indefinite hiatus. There's rumblings in the underground of maybe this band might be resurfacing. I sure hope so. I'm speaking, of course, of Membrane from Bellingham. This is off of their Subcutaneous EP from last year. The song is called Chainbreaker. Have a great day, everyone.
This has been a Jiggle Down Productions production.
that's the end of the interview. And if you can record an intro shout out for me.
Okay, so how would you want me to word it?
It's really up to you. Just kind of who you are and what show this is. Just however you want to do it.
I'm Cayla Freitas. Oh shit. Okay, hold on. Oh, All right. I'm Cayla Freitas from the band Milk Krayt, and you're watching Grit City Punk.
That's great, except for nobody's going to watch it.
No.
It's audio.
That's true.
Want to do it one more time?
Yeah, I'll do it again.
Okay.
All right. I'm Cayla Freitas from the band Milk Krayt, and you're listening to Grit City Punk.
Perfect.
All right.
Cool. Okay, well, I won't take up much more of your Saturday. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Thanks for having me.